Copy that.
Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay or no? Okay. Copy that.
So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Who's gonna win here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway?
This is the Lone Star Stage. The question is, who will be the Lone Star?
Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us here at Texas Motor Speedway, playing host to round 3 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. I am Jared Deanna. Joining me once again is Ryan Sage. Ryan, we have seen some, I just showed up last night, but I will tell you the trek to get here, not only during COVID times, but also just getting here, the snow, the ice, the cold, but today we are blessed with some beautiful weather and the making of a great event.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a action-packed weekend here with our 3rd round of the Pro 2 Championship and rounds 5 and 6 of the Pro Championship doubleheader. It comes under very auspicious circumstances. Things have changed over the past month coming into Texas, and the teams, the series have tried to make the best of it. We got all new course layout, but today we're focusing on our top 32 first of our Pro 2 series, and it's been an incredible year for these guys in terms of competition. We've seen Dimitri Bruschi, Joshua Love, and Austin Mata really take the lead in the championship and show some really strong driving. However, we have to remember that our top 8 drivers all receive the opportunity to move up into the Pro Series by taking that license if they would like to. So very important points on board here today.
Yeah, and not only are we seeing just the Pro 2 drivers rise to the occasion, the diversity, you know, the BMWs are just the field of vehicles. It's really exciting. Also, I gotta can't help but not acknowledge your facial hair.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've curated some follicles on your face, dude.
Yes, it is part of my Halloween costume for tomorrow, so
Okay.
it may not be sticking around long. But what I
You're
see,
you're shaving tomorrow night.
yes, yeah. what I see as I think about what our overall schedule is going to be for the remainder of the year and for the championship is how important these points are. We've got one more round in Irwindale in just less than a month away from now, and that's going to be it for the year.
Yeah.
After this crazy year, we literally have 1 month until the season is over. So massive importance for points for the Pro 2 guys, and 2 opportunities this weekend for the Pro guys. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if you can recollect, previous normal seasons, we would have wrapped up the 2020 season by now if we would have, could adhere to our original schedule that was announced at SEMA show. But you know what? Happy to be back here. Happy to be announcing next to you. Happy to be celebrating Halloween. Trick or treat, you get a treat, man. I think this is the making of a really cool event. What do you think of the track? How are the drivers adapting to, now they're going counter course as to previous, Formula Drift Texas setups?
Historically speaking, this track layout was around 2014. Obviously, we're driving on a completely different part of the course. We're going in the opposite direction than we have in years past. It's a run-up that basically forces drivers to go 100% into that first turn, and there's an outside zone there that now moves the old inside clip to the other side of the course. And then, of course, you remember the power alley that's been widened over the years. That's outside zone 2. It finishes off in outside zone 3, and then outside zone 4 basically starts around halfway through that outer turn through the finish line. So for fans that have been watching Formula Drift for many years will remember that that outside zone and that finish line was the start line of previous year's courses. So this is a completely different adventure that drivers are going to be going through this year. And let's remember, 2014, the cars back then were much different than they are now. So I think from a data perspective, it's going to be pretty much irrelevant for everybody, and everybody starting fresh.
Yeah, there's a great just overall view of outside zone. You can see the finish line. It's going to be, just seeing the dialogue online. They wish, a lot of the pro drivers wish they had a longer run up, but I think it pairs them up really well. So let's take a look back at Seattle. We talked about Brutski, we talked about Love. So let's take a look back at our previous round, which seems like yesterday, but how long ago was that? Like a month ago, was that?
About that.
Oh my goodness, it's crazy. So again, overall, that is our track. Our track is getting set up. Our judges, Chris Yule, Ryan Lontaine. Let's take a look back at our champions, our current points leaders, I should say, of Pro 2 in Seattle. Just for the sake of argument, I'm just going to say I think Josh Love has a slight advantage. We'll find out.
Making claims.
Making claims. That's what we do. Claims! Here we go. Who's in claim the victory? Love with massive angle there. But like you said, Hurst in that chase position does a good job. He tucks in. And Hurst does make a slight mistake there. Now here they come into that final outside zone. How are they going to manage? Love does a good job, but Hurst slides on in. Oh man, Ryan, do we have a winner? Or are we going one more time? We're doing it in the dark.
Well, Hurst did get pinched off in that first inside clip area, and that can be a pretty noticeable mistake for the judges. Let's take a look as Josh Love slingshots out of the start line into that initiation point. Hurst is on a tighter line there as well. Didn't follow him into the outside zone, so a secondary mistake there. He also misses that second outside zone and then comes up tight there. So this is not the chase run that we're used to seeing from Jonathan Hurst. And you said the needle was going in Josh Love's direction, and it looks like with that lead run, he may have done a good enough job given the mistakes of Hurst in the chase position. Remember, the mistakes that we saw from Josh Love in the chase was he dropped that tire, he had a little bit of angle loss, but overall, he kept great proximity and no major noticeable mistakes.
Let's get ready to send it here for this final battle here. Round 2, the Link ECU Management Finals are here. Run 1, never settle. Let's see if Dmitry Brutski lives up to that motto on his front bumper. Let's get ready to send it for our first ever no attendees event, making some history. Here we go, Dmitry Brutski. And that of Chase Schmidt. Dmitry initiating into the bank. Let's see how they handle. The sun is setting, but who will rise? As Dimitri, big angle. Oh, Chase Schmidt comes out of angle, holds on to that proximity. Brudski, massive angle coming into the power alley. Lontaine, that's exactly what you're talking about. In that second outside zone. Now tighten it up to the front clip at the third hash mark. Now bringing it back into that final outside zone. There goes Brudski. Digging all the way in, dragging tail light. Great run by Dimitri Brudski. Chase, in chase position, had some great moments. Like I said, fell out of angle a little bit, but kept the proximity.
Well, it makes it very difficult to beat a driver like Dimitri Brudski when he does stuff like this. He basically locks into his line and challenges the chase driver to come up to the wall with him. He's right up against the wall.
Kemp, I don't know if you can, but if you could give me a little bit more of your volume,
you can see Chase
I'm having a hard time
doing a
hearing
great
you.
job on proximity. But in terms of the fluidity and the balance in the vehicle, he's moving around quite a bit, surging back and forth. So he'll get points for proximity, no question, but he's obviously a little bit unsettled in the chase in that section of the course at least. Now Brudski is gonna eye up his exit from the big bank, get right to that second outside zone, get that left rear wheel right in there. Kind of the same with the right, could have been a little bit deeper. So we are at least seeing an opportunity for Chase when he gets to his lead run here. Chase, as Brudski kind of late apexes that inside clip, does a great job on the transition, puts a nose right near the back bumper, but Brudski goes very deep into that final outside zone. And once again, sets a pretty solid standard here that Chase is gonna have to try and match.
So there we go, seeing Brudski, you know, in a very wet scenario. It dried out throughout the weekend there in Seattle. St. Louis, we had ideal conditions, and we're going to have great conditions here this weekend. The air is cold, which means dense, which means more horsepower, running efficiently. What do you think?
Well, you know, it harkens me back looking at some of that footage of just how many challenges the drivers in this Pro 2 series have dealt with, and they were tremendous in the rain. And I'd be remiss if we didn't mention, you know, the 4th and 5th place guys, Jonathan Hurst and Chase Schmidt, that have done great work this year. And you can see, taking a look at the bracket, some of our initial opponents that are going to be going up against each other. Look at that. Josh Love, Jonathan Hurst, Austin Mata, Human Rahini, Andy Haitley, Chase Schmidt, Micah Diaz, Blake Olson, and Dimitri Brudski, along with Kelsey Rowlands, all have buys. So that is going to put our top 16 bracket into a very interesting position. They'll lay back for the 32. We'll get the 5 guys that are going to be going through, or girls that are be going into the top 16. We'll have our short break for Pro 2. And then we'll come right back and knock this thing out. But it is going to be a tough competition. As you mentioned, we are once again mixing in different elements for these drivers to deal with, and this is a brand new track layout.
Yeah, when we come back, we'll see round 3 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. It is upon us, and we're about to send it here with our top 32 with quite a few bye runs. Thanks for joining us here. When we come back, we'll kick things off here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Your body is a machine with 800 horses coursing through its veins. Ignite it. NOS Energy, human horsepower.
What takes me to my happy place is actually adding a bottle of Royal Purple Max Boost every time I fill up my tank, and literally feeling the difference it makes with my engine. It's like putting on your favorite pair of socks. What a coincidence. Now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, when you buy a bottle of Max Boost, Royal Purple is going to send you a pair of Royal Purple designer socks. Personally, this might be one of the best promos ever. Max Boost bumps up that octane number a legit 3 points, and the socks put some heat on your feet. How you doing, right?
The Falcon Azenis RT660 is the enthusiast choice for ultra-high performance. Engineered for predictable handling and stability, the RT660 provides maximum traction both on and off the track. Your competitive edge has arrived with the Falcon Azenis RT660.
To let you know about the Ford Performance
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Drift and Dirt Sweepstakes, where you can win your choice of a brand new 2021 Ford Super Duty Tremor, which is ready for work or outdoor adventure at any time.
Or a 480 horsepower, track-ready 2021 Ford Mustang Mach 1.
All you have to do is head to driftanddirt.com for your chance to win.
Link ECU produces standalone engine management technology with a range of products that allow you to unleash the power of your engine. Acting as your car's brain, Link ECUs control electronic fuel injection and ignition. A magnitude of sensor inputs and outputs ensure your engine exceeds your expectations. Built-in safety features guarantee engine protection, and data logs keep you informed on its performance. Smoke your tires, not your engine, with a world-leading Link ECU.
Let's take a look at this overall map here, Ryan, and basically what the judges are looking for. Chris Yule, Ryan Lontaine, and Brian Eggert. You can see the track here. The stage is set. Like I said, not a cloud in the sky. Beautiful day. The wind is brisk, but overall, D-cell map, tandem format, lead driver goals, chase driver goals. Let's take a look. What are you expecting, and what are the judges looking for?
Well, I mean, just to go back a little bit, one of the big things that came out of the judges' meeting as we look at this tandem format, which everybody should know, is that the judges really want to see these guys focusing fast throttle up to outside zone 2. So obviously we've got the 2 runs. The lead, the higher qualified driver in this case, or the higher seated driver, leads the first one. Chase the second, and of course for the judges, it's pretty easy. It's driver A, driver B, or one more time.
All right, there's the tandem format, and here are the lead driver goals. Run the qualifying line, right? So run a 100-point qualifying run a chaseable lead run, and also follow the D-cell map. Don't slow down where you don't need to slow down, right?
Chase driver goals initiate no later than the last initiation point, and that should be noted is right at the beginning of outside zone number 1. We want to maintain close proximity to the lead driver, match or better the lead driver's angle, and of course mimicking the lead driver's transition and line is really a sign of an aggressive quality chase run.
We actually do have attendees here at Texas Motor Speedway. You can see them. They are off in the distance just above as NASCAR kept getting delayed. Finally went racing Wednesday. Load-in came in Thursday. You can see all spread out. The pits are not open. Attendees are allowed to watch Big Haas, the big TV that is across the track, and they can see and smell the rubber from across the Texas Motor Speedway. But
even
overall,
the rigs are socially distanced.
What's that?
Even the rigs are socially distanced.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Don't want to see social distancing on track. We want to see close proximity, no social distancing. All joking aside, obviously staying safe here. Wear your mask. Keep your hands clean, and don't put them in your mouth. So let's just have some fun here today. A little Air Force trivia here for us. Aim high trivia. Ryan, I know you curate a lot of the questions, so you are unofficially not allowed to answer this. Who was the first Chief Master Sergeant of the United States Air Force? Was it James McCoy, Gerald Murray, Paul Airey, or Arthur Andrews? Ryan, do you know the answer?
I believe I do remember this one, yeah.
and you'll find that Aim High Trivia in the description of the YouTube live Formula Drift stream. So go ahead and answer that below. Again, who was the first Chief Master Sergeant of the United States Air Force, brought to you by the United States Air Force. Thank you for your support, not only our troops, but also for supporting Formula Drift as we are about to go right into it. Again, Ryan, quite a few buys. I think I counted 10 overall, and that's really going to contribute to the advancement of our current points leaders. Dimitri Brutsky, we talked about Mata, and there in the middle is Joshua Love.
Yeah, and we expected that for the Pro 2 Championship this year. It's been pretty consistent since St. Louis. We know that as the way that we're seeding the bracket, we're going to get guys that are going to go automatically into the top 16. And it was better for us to do a top 32 bracket than do a 16 bracket and have guys go out in a situation where they couldn't qualify. So that's why we have this bracket set up. It allows everybody to have an opportunity to do tandem head-to-head format. and then we get the strongest top 16 that we can possibly get going into our tandem matchups, which will be happening later on this afternoon in the top 16.
And truth be told, you know, last year Pro 2, there was definitely some talent there, but you like the truth be told there. And I saw you giggling there. It's fine. Everything's fine. Last year, I would say that 32 seemed like, top 32 seemed like a stretch, just given, you know, going into Atlanta, seeing the top 16 drive. But I would say this year, the field of drivers, it definitely deserves, even COVID or not, just, you know, how they're qualifying and everything. It's pretty exciting. So really looking forward to this. Again, Pro 2 Link Engine Management about to throw down. We are not seeing the buy runs from each vehicle that has the automatic buy in a top 16. We will not see buy runs from the drivers.
Yeah, exactly. There's really no reason. We sometimes give the drivers the option, but there's really no reason for the buy runs to happen in the top 32 because there's so many of them. So we get right to the battles that need to happen. Then we shorten up the halftime break so people aren't waiting around, and then we get right into the top 16 action. So in the pro category, if there are buy runs that are maybe 1 or 2, possibly 3, we will give the drivers the option. But most of the times we just will bypass the buy runs and move right on into the tandem competition.
I did get an update via Instagram and social media. Carlos Arrieta, unfortunately, he is down a couple cylinders, so he's running 4 cylinders in that SE chassis. So he says, still going to send it, bro, because he felt good, unfortunately, in practice earlier today and even yesterday, just down a couple cylinders. So Carlos is down on horsepower. We'll see how he hangs with Joshua Reynolds here. Joshua Reynolds throwing in that BMW. Nice transition. And very apparent here as Carlos down in horsepower, not able to hang with with Josh Reynolds as Reynolds turns it up. Where it gets interesting now for Reynolds is chasing down a vehicle that is down in horsepower. Could be a liability, could be a scenario, but Josh Reynolds, those vehicles maintained by the Drift Cave up in San Jose, California. That's Mount Field Shop. Let's take a look at it again,
You gave us some good insight there with Arrieta, and you can see it manifests itself pretty much right out of the gate. You see that separation. But watch Josh right here. He's going to come unwound a little bit and really miss that second outside zone. So obviously we really don't have an active chase here from Arrieta. Josh does make that mistake, does not get out to that outside zone. I don't think he incompletes, so he should be decently okay here, but now the real challenge is going to be how does he apply pressure in the chase position to a car that is down so much on power.
And this is going to showcase, can he hang with a lower horsepower car? And sometimes in pro, you'll see that departure of horsepower, driving skill, or whatever the scenario might be. But this is where Josh really needs to rise to the occasion and show that he can control, manage the horsepower, keep the proximity. And Ryan, right out of the gate, you could see how long that transition is from that front clip all the way to that second outer zone into that third outer zone. So managing that horsepower and keeping it consistent, keeping it sideways, as now Carlos Arrieta will lead and Josh Reynolds will give chase. Here we go. All right, so you can see Carlos trying to manage that lack of horsepower. You can see him correcting, straightening out a little bit here as Josh Reynolds transitioned there from Carlos into that third outer zone. Now through the sweeper, look at Josh Reynolds on a way shallower line. Carlos throws it in. As he said, still going to send it on IG, and there, unfortunately, Carlos down on horsepower, tries to throw it into that final outside zone. The big sweeper, again, going counter course from previous years. But unfortunately for Carlos, down on horsepower does not help the scenario.
Yeah, you could really see that starting to come into play, just the power and how far he was down. Pretty much right from initiation. It was a very slow roll-up. Reynolds had to make an adjustment. He moves back offline and then tries to really adjust the car in the mistakes that were being made out front by Arrieta. And you can see he made a mistake of his own. But in the lead position here, as Arrieta comes through this third outside zone and into the fourth, or right before, he's going to push super hard here and go way offline. And then right here, you can see Reynolds is on the inside line, sees that he's going off course, and realizes, uh-oh, I got to get out of the way here, and he moves to the inside line.
Yeah. All right, so Josh Reynolds will be the victor here. We'll make it official in a moment, getting the bird's eye view. You know, Ryan, I've gotten a lot of feedback just doing particular events over the years, and just even this year. Let's make it official. Josh Reynolds does get the win. It is going to be unanimous. just the feedback overall of the drones? What are you hearing? Because I think we like the sensationalism of the POV, but what are you hearing overall?
I think from a judging perspective and just from an overall what's happening with the cars on course, the overhead drone is superior to the FPV.
More of a static as opposed to the first person, really sensational chasing down.
Yeah, the closer you get, obviously, the more dynamic it's going to be. But sometimes I think it loses a little bit of the educational side of it. Being able to see what the cars are doing at height has really given the judges some great insights, especially on smoke line or how much the car's moving around, whether or not there's a very clear perturbation in the speed that can be seen sometimes from the drone. So I know the judges really like it, and I've also heard from fans saying that it's very informative.
Yeah. So, all right, move on to our next battle. Mike Power and Josh Robinson. You can see the horsepower difference here. Josh Robinson building a new vehicle from his Holden Ute of previous years, and again, Mr. Power throwing down against the Robo-Roo. The Roo fighter. All right, let's send cars here. Josh Robinson will lead. So Josh Reynolds moving on previously will be going against Human Rahimi. And the winner of this battle will go against Austin Mata, who's currently third in points. Josh Robinson out front. Ooh, look at that power. Sweat Robinson there, but Robinson pulls away in that Duralast BMW around that last outside sweeper. You see Power gets close, has to back off a little bit. Josh Robinson using all the course and bringing it across the finish line on the outside of that zone, Ryan.
Yeah, that first perspective was very informative. You could really tell the difference on that first outside zone between the two drivers. As we take a look here again, you can see does a great job getting into that outside zone as Robinson and Power was on a bit of a tighter line. Now, as Robinson powers out to outside zone 3, there it is once again. You can see he went out to the right section of the course. It set himself up properly, and as Power's trying to make an adjustment, you can see that that Robinson does not get out to outside zone 2. So that's going to be a mistake for him, and you can see that Power is trying to make adjustments here, figuring out what he needs to do to attack on that inside. He does cut the line a little bit here to gain proximity, so that's going to be something that the judges will take into account. So we got a good start from Robinson. He missed outside zone 2, and we saw Power having to make some adjustments, but getting close towards the end there. So we'll switch things up with Mike Power going in the lead and Josh Robinson chasing him down.
All right, Mike Power, vehicle built by MA Motorsports there in Maryland. Josh Robinson building that vehicle here in Texas. He's got a driving academy out here, originally from Perth, Australia, as Mike Power will lead. Waiting for the track to be cleared up. This is our Link Engine Management Top 32. Achilles Tire Top 32, official tire of the Pro 2 Championship, Achilles Tire. So Ryan, you talked about it earlier. Even though we have some fans in attendance, and attendees here, we do not have open pits, so it's a real expedited halftime break because no need for, delay the inevitable. And it looks like we will get a restart here. All right. Cone was hit there, Ryan. So we'll get a clean, fresh restart here. Overhead view of our first run.
Yeah, you could see right there. After that outside zone 1, Power got really close to Reynolds, almost made contact there, and Robinson would have been a much better position if he was able to get out to that outside zone 2. So you could see these guys kind of going tit for tat back and forth here as now Power goes out to the front.
at Seattle when I can't remember the track. You got
Gautier?
Yeah.
Is it Gautier?
I can't remember, man. It was hilarious.
It was one of the French drivers.
It was great. All right, here we go. As Power now in front, and Robinson in his position. Mike Power blasting that front clip. The one and only shooter up in the sky. Mike Power. Whoa, and Robinson goes off course. Oh, man, unfortunate there as Robinson goes off. Don't know what happened there. That was really weird as he transitioned, flicked it back around. Want to take a look, again, using our naked eye and making use of the screen of what the fans are seeing at home.
Over the years, there's been something that's been really consistent, and that's drivers, no matter which way we're going on this course, is really cutting that power alley and not getting to the outside zones. Now, Power does a pretty good job on outside zone 1. Robinson, I think, is going to get lost in the smoke line here, but Power also completely misses outside zone 2 and 3. Now, Robinson looks like he was trying to make an adjustment there, but got caught up behind and really had nowhere to go. So this is going to be interesting for the judges to take a look at. Here it is again. Watch this. Power out front, going to be tight on inside clip 1, completely miss outside zone 2, and then as he transitions, he's going to be way early on outside zone 3, and then that's where we see the unwinding from Robinson. So the judges are going to be critical on whether or not anything that Power was doing had an impact on the chase run. They've been very strong on that this year because they want the chase drive. Well, it looks like Robinson may have done that independently, even though there was some mistakes leading up to it from Power. But that is, I believe, what the judges are going to be looking at, is really what kind of influence that the lead driver had on what the chase driver was doing. And they've drawn, some pretty bright lines there this year.
Yeah, I was going to say, not the prettiest from either driver here. Mike Power, you could see him really tight to that front clip, like you say, foregoing that second outside zone.
I think he just got lost in the smoke there.
I mean, it doesn't seem like it's too thick, but overall, I think Robinson was thrown off by that lead line, but I don't think that dictates how Robinson was going to chase.
Yeah, on the one hand, we do want the chase drivers to follow the lead drivers wherever they go. On the other hand, we have situations like Vaughn and JTP, where Vaughn actually made a wise decision, I think, to pass, but he hesitated for just a second. So there are instances where, if you follow a driver off course, you're the chase driver, you're not going to be at fault. But sometimes, as a driver, you have to make these split-second decisions. And what do you think is going to be the best? And for Robinson there, he may miscalculated what he needed to do to get an outside zone 4, and the car had to unwind.
All right, here we go. Going to the judges' scorecards. Line them left for Robinson, right for Power, and there we go. Chris saying Mike Power, as does Ryan Lontaine, and now Brian Eggert. It's unanimous. Mike Power gets the win, and yeah. All right, so Power and Ryan, we are hearing that Dustin Miles, unfortunately, who is to run against Stuke, is out. So, unfortunately for Miles, Mr. Stuke will move on. Who is to be our next battle? Hey, Ryan Lontaine, looking over at you across the room. Social distance. You got your earbuds in, but or your silencers, but overall, what are you looking for? What do you think of the track, the setup? Saw you drawing out the lines. What's up?
Yeah, we're looking for on entry the drivers to be all the way out wide to that zone, and they need to stay in that zone until the end of it. That's going to be a major part of this track. If the lead driver doesn't fill outside zone 1, they can really get away from the chase driver. So that's a really key point. And inside clip 1 as well. Got to have angle by there. We had some drivers in practice kind of driving by it, but we need them to be sideways going by inside clip 1.
Also, while we see the M-Spec Performance S15 throw down here, that first front clip, that's a long stretch from that front clip to outside zone, what is that, 2 to 3?
Yeah.
And we're seeing some drivers have some difficulty there.
It's funny that in practice everybody was doing fine in that zone.
Everything's fine, like Ryan says.
Everything's fine, and then we get into competition, and there's something that switches in a competitor's brain when it goes to competition time, and it's either stress, pressure, or whatever it might be, because in practice,
all of the above.
Everything was looking fine. I was down there. I had to repaint that whole box, and now you can see that the box is untouched.
Ooh.
And outside zone 2.
Yeah, so. And just talking about that real quick, you guys put some emphasis on, not cutting the line there, but that seems like the area where cutting the line can happen the most. Yep. And historically, it's happened in both directions, so maybe say something about that.
Yeah, no, that is an easy spot to miss. It's difficult to get your car from in clip 1 all the way out to outside zone 2. And missing it gives you a big advantage, as you can really pull away from the chase driver. The chase driver is going to have a hard time maintaining that proximity. So it's an area that during the driver briefing, we did say we're going to be very strict on the lead drivers, and you can see that the first couple of drivers here are having trouble with that section, and I think it's going to have a part to play, a major part to play going forward in competition.
All right, well, thank you, Lantain. Thank you for watching at home. Share with all your friends, hashtag FDTX. I know the boys at 1945 Speed and Custom, they're watching. Shout out to my boy, Jeremy Bay, and his whole crew. They're in Troy, New York. They're watching the comfort of their own home as Nick Novak and Joe Lynn. Nick Novak from Las Vegas, Joe Lynn from Hong Kong. You can see quite a departure here. It's 900 to 600 horsepower, but it's all about you know, refining it, getting in the right places. Nick Novak, no affiliation with Nickelback, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. No nickels were hurt in the making of this name. Here we go, Novak and Lynn. Novak, great looking BMW, like I said, as Lynn, and the BMW as well. The BMW drivers. Woo, Novak screaming into that third outside zone. Let's see how he handles that sweeper. Man, puts a brick on it, throws it down. Lynn keeping decent proximity, consistent all the way throughout, but Novak just putting the car in all the right places, Ryan. Let's take a look at it again.
Yeah, I think this was the first run where both drivers had a pretty steady approach here, with Novak leading the way. Obviously, no smoke to have to deal with, no driver in front of him.
Yeah.
Looks like he just, at the very minimum, was on the inside of outside zone 2. But even so, look at this, full throttle through the inside clip, great angle there, and he just gets to the edge of it, so he's not cutting the line. And then on outside zone 3, he does fill it pretty completely. Here it is coming across that power alley once again as he approaches outside zone 3, which he fills. Now Lynn is trying to chase him down here. He doesn't let him get away, which is important, but he does miss that outside zone 1, and we lose him in the smoke there on outside zone 2, but you could see that he did cut the line to try to gain proximity there, which is probably a good adjustment to make, to not let Novak get out so far ahead that he can't make it up. But I think Nick Novak did a great job in his lead position, and now the pressure is going to be on Lynn to come back with a great lead run of his own.
Yeah, I mean, really good initiation that first outside zone. Lantain was talking about nobody hitting that outside zone 2, that box, but Novak just fills all of it. And like you said, Ryan, taking some angle out of it to gain that proximity. It's a good compromise overall, really apparent there with the overhead view. There's the brand new 2021 Tacoma Nightshade. The 2021 Tacoma Nightshade Special Edition is built off the limited grade, offering the perfect combination of luxury and functionality. For the past 15 years, Tacoma has been recognized by Kelley Blue Book as the best-selling mid-size pickup truck in the segment. Thank you to Toyota for not only loaning us the 2021 Tacoma Nightshade, but also you can see the 2021 Tundra Nightshade. All right, back to the line. We'll see Lynn lead and Novak giving chase. He wants all back. He wants to get up on that back right there of Lynn's. Ryan, it's crazy the influx of BMWs, not only in Pro 2, but also in Pro. You're seeing them fill up Pro-Ams. Just the parts, I think, has really contributed to that.
I think you're right. Yeah, it's been crazy.
All right, here we go. Lynn out front. Novak is good initiation by Lynn. Novak throwing it down. Ooh, look at him plunging, chomping at the bit there. Lynn, good job filling the outside zones. 3, now going into 4. Oh, and Novak goes off course. Pushes way too hard. He goes off course. Ryan, that could unfortunately knock himself out, Ryan.
You know what?
What a bummer.
Honestly, I think Lynn did not at all buckle under the pressure of Novak's lead run and came back with a solid one of his own. And we know how hard it can be for the chase drivers to follow the lead driver into those really tough parts of the course. Look at this. He's very deep. He gets out on the rumble strip, what the judges says is okay. Pretty tight on that first inside clip. But look at the second outside zone. Completely fills it. Now as we get to the third, he gets right in the middle of the zone, and this is where we see Novak go off course. He was not able to stay on that line. Now, as we come through the power alley again, notice the differential there in run 1 to run 2. You could see that Lynn was able to get out to that second outside zone, whereas Novak just got to the edge of it. And as they left outside zone 3, Novak was not in the right position, went off course, and I think this is going to edge towards Lynn here, who maybe moving on into the top 16.
Yeah, he was given a gift there by Novak, just being too aggressive there. But that's just, again, it's not just one run. It's 2 runs to lead them all. Lord of the runs here, as Lynn is looking pretty unfortunately for Novak, Greg Bussell joining us up here, Novak spotter of Coro Works and the BMW. I think he knows the fate here of Novak. Here's side by side. And I mean, Ryan, do you think there's any chance of deliberation here? I mean,
I always hold my breath just in case I think that that there's something that I missed there. There are 2 decel zones, and I imagine that that's what the judges are looking for here. On the face of it, it just looks like Novak goes off course on his own, that it wasn't something that had to do with Lynn. And in that position, if there was a deceleration or something like that, I don't think it would have played that role, but perhaps the judges just wanted to see it side by side for some verification. Of course, if Ryan starts waving his hand saying, no, you're getting it completely wrong, that would be nice. But
right. And surprisingly, Ryan, after this battle, that Joe Lynn gets the win. Lynn moves on. Only 2 more battles left because Micah Diaz has a bye. We got Joshua Love, who's currently 2nd in points. Barutsky, who's currently leading points. He has a bye. So 2 more runs left here in top 32. Quite a few bye runs, but again, a very talented field of drivers, a very difficult course, very fast, very long. You got to link it all together, and we saw that unfortunately backfire for Novak, and Lynn gets the victory. Still cleaning up the track here as Novak went into the dirt, brought some up there, especially in that sweeper. That's where the vehicles need to get some traction. The Toyota Tacoma and Toyota Tundra, talking about the 2021 Nightshade models. The Toyota Tundra assembled right here in Texas at Toyota Motor Manufacturing, San Antonio, available with 10,200 pounds of towing capacity. The 346 cubic inch I-Force 5.7 V8 produces 381 horsepower and 401 foot-pounds of torque. There was our standings there. You can see Barutsky leading the pack, as up next, Ricky Hoffman and Derek Madison. Pretty Ricky, I call him. Pretty Ricky Hoffman from New Jersey. Ricky Hoffman will lead Derek Madison, give and chase. We've seen Madison compete for quite a few years. Seen him progress over the years in Pro-Am and now here in Pro 2. 8 overall drivers, Ryan, at the end of this season, culminating in Irwindale. 8 drivers available to move on to pro action in the 2021 season. Season 18 of Formula Drift. Here we go. Ricky Hoffman initiating. Derek Madison, that takes position at TireStacks.com. S14 out front. All the BMWs, and here we have their own S chassis. Kelsey Rollins also running that S chassis as Ricky. You can see Madison get close to him, and then Ricky kind of undulating back and forth. Fairly clean run here, Ryan. Let's take a look at it again as they jammed past us. You can see him tight on that first front clip. And again, don't know if it was Ricky kind of pulsing back and forth or Derek.
Well, another good backup here to the Lynn Novak start as we see Hoffman take the lead here against Madison. And notice nice Madison coming through on that transition through the smoke line. Hoffman just getting to the edge of that second outside zone and the third. You can see a slight pause there for a second. Here's a second look at the second outside zone, and you can see a slight reduction in angle there from Hoffman out front. But in the chase position, Madison wasn't able to follow him out to that second outside zone. So we're seeing another kind of tit-for-tat battle.
Yeah.
There was a slight reduction in angle from Madison, leaving this final outside zone that we're going to take a look at here. See that we have that compression, and there's a little bit of separation. And then Madison's on a slightly tighter line. Now he catches back up and gets through that finish line very close to Hoffman. So like the way that this thing is ramping up here, and let's switch things up with Derek Madison leading now as Ricky Hoffman will chase him down.
Yeah, I really liked how Ricky, like you said, took some angle out of it into that second outside zone, but then when he got into that big sweeper, outside zone 3, just turned it on and just hammered down and brought it across the finish line, which I think surprisingly threw Madison off in that chase. Now Madison is going to need to throw it down here with Ricky in the rear view. Let's see what Derek's got. Wow, snappy transition and initiation into that first outside zone. Through that power alley, Ryan, getting all the way out to outside zone 2 is Derek Madison into the big sweeper. Oh, and look at this. Ricky goes off course, absolutely exits stage left as Ryan, that outside zone, are they running out of tire over there? I mean, that's the multiple you know, we've seen this happen multiple times already here in Pro 2.
And we've seen it in a number of different practice sessions as well, so we know that that is a very tricky part of the course. I think a lot of it really comes down to how drivers are performing in terms of the pressure of the lead driver. Look at this snap here by Derek Madison.
Bam-o.
Boom. It's a nice snap. Notice the wheels, no lockup. He stays on throttle through inside clip. And look at outside zone 2, right to the edge of the course there. Transitions back around, gets a quick e-brake pull into that outside zone, which also serves as the decel. So as we see Hoffman go off course, it may have just been trying to catch up too quickly to a very strong and fast Derek Madison, who took some risk in the lead position. And I think it's going to pay off for him. He did a big snap, held that rate to, he got a really quick rate to angle, held that angle, and then pushed through these zones with very minimal decrease in speed or off throttle action. So it looks like he's got this course dialed, and in the lead position really did a strong performance. Here it is. You really get to see a great vantage point, Jared, of the lead driver, Madison, getting out completely to that second outside zone. And then through the smoke line, you can see Hoffman going off course. And here's Madison sailing through the finish line, which ends right there.
All right, let's slide them left for Hoffman, or I assume they're going to go right for Madison, unfortunately, for Hoffman. And there it is, Derek Madison, Team Infamous. He's infamously going on into the top 16. He goes against second in points, Joshua Love, in the top 16, Ryan. So one more battle left here in top 32 to forge our top 16. Quickly expedited and making it really easy on our judges with those major mistakes, Ryan, that seems to be happening at the same location. What's up?
No, I'm just looking at some of these matchups that are starting to ramp up, and we've got our third place guy on the left-hand side of the bracket and our first and second place guy on the same quadrant on the right-hand side of the bracket. So it's going to get interesting here.
Yeah, I really just am enjoying Pro 2 this year. If it's, you know, at every round, they're driving the same courses that the pro drivers. There's a good opportunity for them to really gain some knowledge about car setup, you know, comparing them to the pro vehicles and just their driver ability, you know. So you can see how the top 16 is shaping up. Uman Rahimi, Andy Haley versus Blake Olson. We haven't seen those guys run just yet. Austin Mata, you're talking about, going against Mike Power. You got Chase Schmidt versus Stuke. And here we go, Stoke. Our final battle of the Keeley's Radial Top 32, the official tire of Pro 2. A couple Northeast fellas, New Hartford, Connecticut, Old Bridge, New Jersey. As Misko, Brian Wadman. Feeling the flow, feeling the vibe. Is that DJ Ryan Sage right there on the ones and twos? That was definitely that was kind of your music, right? Oh yeah, that was all you. Oh yeah. DJ Ryan Sage. Here we go. Let's see who. Oh, Wadman. Yes, sir. 4S passes that Liquid Molly S14. Wadman throwing down out front. Oh man, look at that nice sweep all the way through. As Misko. You can see him take it, you know, keeping his distance. We'd like to see closer proximity here. Ryan, what's your take on this run here?
Well, we're starting to see these guys, I think, gel a little bit on this course. First couple runs were a little bit shaky here, but starting to shake the cobwebs out as we see Wadman get a pretty good jump here on Misko. Nice little snap there. Misko adjusts as well, trying to go for that mirroring effect, but is not completely able to, and you can see that separation from Wadman and Misko, even though Wadman was all the way out to that second outside zone, which that's going to play a good role for him because there's no evidence that he's trying to run away. He's not cutting the course, he's filling the zones. He's just able to get more grip down, and Misko is not able to hang with him here. You can see a pretty decent mirroring effect going on there, but Misko comes off that second outside zone early, which causes him to be a little bit offline. And then as Wadman gets back on the throttle here, you can see that separation, and Misko's having to play catch up on the last quarter of the course.
All right, we got some fans watching at home. We got Hans Gardner. Thanks for watching. Nice snap-on tool collection there, buddy.
And Jared, it's
change up the order.
Really interesting. Brian Wadman is in a really unique position here. He is tied with 5 other guys at 80 points.
Okay.
Kelsey Rowlings, Andy Haley, Blake Olson, and Micah Diaz. So, and that goes from 7th to 11th place, so he can make some moves here.
Yeah, here we go. All right, Misko out front. Wadman chasing him down. Good initiation there by Misko. Kind of a slow roll into it, allowing Wadman to gain that proximity, but just as I say that, boom, he turns up the fire. Misko down the outside zone. Oh, keeping it together. Oh, and Wadman. Did he overcook it? Yes, he did. And there it is, straight. Oh, man, did he get into that wall, Ryan?
It started happening right towards the last quarter, and we're seeing just how challenging that final left-hand sweeper can be. Misko, after maybe a slight disadvantage on run number 1, not able to fill some of the zones that Brian Wadman was, came back and put a lot of pressure on the lead. And this is the second time we've seen a lead driver with a disadvantage after the first run come back, lay down a solid lead run. And as he leaves outside zone 2, which he doesn't fill completely, so that's going to be a disadvantage for him, Wadman kind of takes the bait a little bit, starts to go really fast on the course, gets lost in the smoke line, drops those 2 tires, and goes off course.
Oh, man, living on the edge. All these guys, just that outside zone is just being problematic. Speaking of edge, you do look like Edge from U2. Yeah, is that your Halloween costume?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Remember when U2 just dropped in on your phone, unprovoked, just guns ablaze and dropped an album on your phone? You remember that?
Yeah, that was a couple years ago.
Yeah, that was, if you liked or hated them, upset. Oh,
it's the start of iTunes, right? Or Apple Music?
Yeah, I believe so. Do you have any guesses of what my Halloween costume is? I actually have 2. No? Okay.
It's got to be something creative, I know.
No, it's not that creative. No, that's good. All right, here we go. Wadman and Misko. Slide them right for Steve Misko. Gets the win. Steve Misko gets the win. Unfortunately for Wadman, Ryan, you cursed him, bro. Announcer's curse. You said he could shake things up. He was tied with all those drivers, and Ryan Sage, a.k.a. Edge, cuts him down. So Misko, that tire stacks S chassis, gets the win and moves on. Our top 16, just like that, is forged with those 10 buys, a considerable amount of buys, but our top 16, there it is. That's how it shapes up. And now I talked about that left side, Ryan. Hurst goes against Lynn. Rawlings versus Micah Diaz. Joshua Love, second in points, goes against aggressive Derek Madison. And then our points leader, Dmitry Brutsky, goes against the driver who we just saw get the victory, Steve Misko. So it's going to be a quick break. Ryan, when are we back here? Taking a look at the schedule. Overall, again, Pro 2, you can see our fans in attendance. Yeah, all the way over there. Thanks for joining us. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. Again, you can see some dudes bundled up, some gals just hanging out. It's, again, just a casual Friday here at Texas Motor Speedway. Round 3 of the Link ECU Pro 2 Championship. We're back on here at top 16. Our halftime break takes us till 2:30. All right, that's what time I got to go to the dentist. Is 2:30. See what I did there? Oh, I got a giggle. I got a giggle from a few of y'all. All right, so again, we have about 2 hours. So we got 2 hours here until we come back with our live stream, our opening ceremony, top 16 at 2:30. All right, so again, we'll see you in just over 2 hours here at Texas Motor Speedway. Round 3 of the Link ECU Pro 2 Championship. Our triple header weekend, kicking things off here at Pro 2. And then tomorrow, round 5 of the Pro Championship. And on Sunday, round 6 of the Pro Championship. Thanks for joining us. On behalf of Ryan Sage, I'm Jared Deanna. We'll see you at 2:30 local time. Again, local time is 12:21. Michael Svensson, thank you for watching all the way from Switzerland. Thank you so much. We'll be back here just a couple hours. Send it.
Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Who's going to win here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway?
This is the Lone Star Stage. The question is, who will be the Lone Star?
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, if you spend $45 on Royal Purple products, like I just did for my oil change, Royal Purple will send you $10 back. Here's how easy it is. Head to your local O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up any combination of Royal Purple products that get you to $45.
Also good at O'Reilly.com.
Make sure you take your receipt, snap a photo of it, then go to RoyalPurplePromos.com and simply upload your receipt image. It's so easy. Then all you have to do is go to the mailbox and find your $10 rebate check.